Oh, back up near the Adirondacks. We're just outside of Old Forge. Around an area called Mahoney, New York, I think I said that right. I probably butchered the crap out of it. We're at Nelson Lake Trailhead. That's State Route 28 that you're about to see right there. See and hear. So that's Route 28, heading to Old Forge. There's a little pull-off called Nelson Lake. Looks to be like a boat launch site, but, you know, it's worth exploring. I said trailhead parking, so that's where we are. That's the trail down there. It's the parking lot. It's not a very big one. No cell phone reception, and again, I didn't plan on stopping, so I didn't download a PDF if there is a trail here. So, here we go. Let's check out Nelson Lake, just outside of Old Forge in Mahoney, New York. Part of the Adirondack Park. It's a nice brisk 39 degrees. I'm checking something real quick here. Okay. Nice early start in the morning. Got a trail registry up here, I see. Whenever you see this, always stop and sign in. I like the map. Yep, blank. It's a good way to start the day. Blank map, but at least it's got a registry. Or, I'm wrong? Well, what you doing, DEC? No map, no registry? Alright. A great way to start off the hike. So as of right now, I'm going to be venturing more into the Adirondacks area. Of course, I'll check the heritageunits.com to see if there's any reason to go toward Syracuse. But if there is not, I'll be venturing, doing more hiking in the Adirondacks. Because right now it's set up, if I could get out of work, you might have seen the video the other day, if I could get out of work early enough, it's a 2-hour drive to get up here to Inlet, New York, which is a state campground. So we'll see how that works out. Camp the night and then get ready to go. I think that's what I did last night. There's a campground just outside of Inlet, New York, Limekiln Lake. So decent little campground. Definitely worth visiting if you're in the area. So if I could get up there before their check-in is until 9 o'clock, which helps out a lot. Seems like I get out of work usually around 5 o'clock. Load the car the previous day. Quick stop at the house. Load up with the rest of the camping stuff, you know, like the food and everything. You don't really need that sitting around 10 hours out in the sun. And then right after work, load up the car, then 2-hour drive. Hopefully get there by 7. check in, and then set up. And then start bright and early in the morning. Well, that's the plan anyway. Yeah, we all know how well plans go. There is no cell phone service in the Adirondacks, by the way. Oh, hang on, I said that. I misspoke. I got 2 bars. Well, let me check this real quick again. Yeah, my phone is not the best. I'm not one of those people that hang out with the phone all day long, constantly on it. So, yeah. So I tried searching, and Nelson Lake looks like it could be a short trail or could be a 3.5 mile trail. But the phone is picking up Adirondack game lands along with another part of game lands, and it's giving me all this other information, but not the information I want to know right here, right now. It's bringing up Nick's Lake, it's bringing up all this other stuff, and I'm like, looking, all trails comes up, and it shows a 8-mile loop. Yeah. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. And of course, there's 3 or 4 parking areas along Route 48, and yeah, it's a headache. But you know, trail registry at the beginning with a map probably would have helped a little bit too. Their DEC or whoever's, I don't even know if it's a DEC. I think it could be the Adirondack Park Preserve or something. So you get the trail going off there. I guess. I don't know. That's old though. I have no idea. We'll stick to this one. It's like an old road. It's got. Oh, here. Feels like an old road to me. Well, I do have my bicycle up and ready, but hard part is trying to find a place to put in the car, because I'm still waiting for a rack for it. I thought my vehicle had a trailer hitch. It does not. So that's put together and ready to go as soon as I find a decent trail to run it on for the first time. I haven't ridden a bike in 30 plus years, so I'm gonna say it's like riding a bike. So again, fun fact for you, if you get off Interstate 81 in Sandy Creek and Pulaski, head toward Boonville, that's an hour drive. Another half hour to an hour to get up near Old Forge, but takes me a little quicker because I'm familiar with the route. But that being said, from Interstate 81, it's probably about a 2-hour drive to get up into Old Forge via Boonville. Just heads up. To get, well, I should say to get to the core of the Adirondacks, it's probably about 2 hours. We're not in the core of it yet. We're kind of on the outskirts. We're in between the Tug Hill and the Adirondack Park area, where the mountain meets the hills. And it is bear country, so keep that in mind as well. I'll probably meet something like this. And of course, a knife on the side. when all else fails. Do I hear water? Oh yeah, I hear pretty close to the Moose River too. So that might be what I'm hearing. Oh, other than my leg popping. Yeah, even in June. But we are up in elevation too. Again, I say it so many times in the video, at my house it was 53 degrees. Up here outside of Old Forge, it's 39. Dress accordingly. That's the coat and the hat. The hat, I'll wear that in July sometimes to keep the mosquitoes from biting you, and the gnats off your head, and the black flies. But if you get out early enough in the morning, you might have a mosquito here or there, and it'd be too cold for anything else. But when it warms up, though, I won't say I didn't warn you. What is that doing in the forest? This would be the Adirondack Railroad. I don't expect any trains anytime soon, but hey, I know where to watch the train if I known one was coming. Yeah, so if you take the Adirondack Railroad train to Old Forge, you'll be screaming through here at a nice clip. It's an old New York Central line that they abandoned but brought back to life with the scenic railroad. Good job of those. I really wish they could have made it all the way to Lake Placid, but the state went, nah, you're good enough for this part. There's a lot of potential. Everybody's trying to preserve these old rail lines, but the state decided, nah, we'd rather have this be a hiking trail. A bike trail, no, I don't know what they called it. Rails to trails kind of deal. Oh, you could run only this part, but we're going to take the rest of this rail line out and put in a trail. So, yeah. And everybody fought like, well, let's just say everybody fought to keep the rails in, but no, the state didn't want it. Well, it is what it is. Times were different back then. So yeah, that's your kayak trail to the Moose River. We'll get down here as much as we can. It's a good half-mile hike with a kayak to get to the river. We're already on it. I can see we're already at the river. Easy enough to plop in a canoe. Plop and run. Oh, ain't that beautiful? Yep, nice little place to set in right here. It dropped right off, but you got a couple of feet waist deep right here on me probably. But after that part, be prepared. I'm guessing if you're in a kayak, you know how to swim. You'll need to know how to swim and launch in here, but it's a nice little tributary because there's the Moose River right here. A little offshoot here, and you can plop in right there and see ya. Full send it. Again, almost all the trails in the Adirondacks will have some sort of view in them. There's one trail I hiked. I haven't even rendered the video yet. Pickaninny State Forest Trail 2.0. I think I'm going to name it. That's the worst trail I've hiked, unfortunately. That's my one and only bad review as of this recording on June 1st, 2024, is the Pickaninny Trail 2.0. That trail was the only trail I had to back out of. So, yeah, this is a nice little, I'm gonna go for a nice little picnic and stuff. It's a nice little trail, half-mile hike. If you know the schedule of the Adirondack Railroad, you can even catch a train. But the stop signs kind of confused me. So one time it made it look like it was a road or a snowmobile trail, but you're just seeing the trail as I walked back from the river's edge. And I'm guessing that would have been a stop sign. Oh yeah, right here. That's new. Yeah, it's just too bad there ain't a way to go back in time and just have go back you know, a few 50 years, have a 260 coming up here at you. Imagine if they had these type of video cameras back then. I mean, look at how much time's changed. A computer to run this section of railroad would have probably been the size of a car. And now we can do it with this. Yeah. Within a matter of 50 years. I'm afraid to cross the tracks. I guess that's state code. Yeah, that is a stop sign. Stop road crossing. Like anybody's gonna be up here with a four-wheeler. I mean, there's nothing. Well, kind of wondering the history of it though, because it was a gravel road. You can see the road. What looks like a road to this point. So where did the road go? It's not like there's an old quarry back here. A joint bar. I just noticed that. There's nothing off that way. Here it is. Okay, there was a road back here. That answers that question. Let's just stop and look around, just like I did. The road used to go down in that way and cut off that direction. But obviously it's no longer feasible. I'm just trying to see what that is down there. Looked like it might have been a foundation, but I think it's just a cluster of rocks. Yeah, I like the hike. It's decent. Nice half-mile. And again, if you know the timetable, because even I don't know that, there'd be times I'll look up, okay, there's a train running. I did this a lot last year when I was hiking over there at Berea stuff. I'm hoping if I stand here long enough, a deer might walk across the tracks or something. Or a train might come. What is that down there? That just looks weird from my vantage point. Sasquatch? Oh. No. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, like I was saying, this video's long. Getting long from me mumbling, but, you know, if I don't say how things were, nobody will ever know again 20 years later how things were in my recordings. Like we were talking, 88 I grew up in, and I have not been on a bike since the 90s. Here it is 2024, so that's gonna be a challenge for me. I'll probably go to Winona and get my bicycle legs worked up before I take any serious trails out here. But back then, what was a cell phone? Now, you want to flash back to, we had a phone in the kitchen with a 30-foot phone cord. Okay, does anybody remember those? Ring, ring, ring. You had to run down to the kitchen, pick up a little phone, just big enough to get your hand around, probably about the size of that sign. And then you walked around the house with a 30-foot cord. And it was in the center of the house, so you could reach the kitchen, the dining room, the living room. That's before cell phones, before cellular even existed. You knew a phone call was coming, you waited by that phone, and the second that ring, 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 you jumped up and you ran over to that phone. That's what I was brought up in. There's none of this going on where you could go, oh, okay, let's look this up, let's look that up. Nope. Internet didn't exist back then. You want to have a fun time, folks? I grew up when there was no internet, no cellular service, no cell phones were even on the docket. So, there's your flashback. There's my rant of the morning. If I'm going to argue with somebody about stuff from the past, it might as well be myself, right? Just happened to have the camera on at that time. I was looking at this joint bar. I think that's what it's called. Keeps a gauge in. Or, you know, that could have been a joint bar. Yeah, I think, yeah. Just something like that in the familiar diarrhea mouth. I'm trying to find the date on the tracks too, but I'm not seeing that. Yep, back in the 80s, Conrail abandoned the line. Somebody saw it fit enough to go, hey, let's run some passenger trains through it. Thus the Adirondack, I don't think it's the current name, the Adirondack Scenic Railroad. I think it was a different name. But today it's only known as the Adirondack Scenic Railroad. But I think it was just the Adirondack Railroad back then. I don't know the real history of it. Because again, it's an hour and a half from my house, so I don't know much about it. It's not like it's in my backyard. But from the history I grew up with, kind of like the Gettysburg Railroad, I think. Back when Gettysburg ran steam, and then that happened, and people know what I mean when I say then that happened. And then it's like still the Gettysburg Railroad, but under a new ownership kind of deal. Like it used to be the Adirondack Railroad under an ownership, and now it's the Adirondack Scenic Railroad under the ownership and stuff like that. But they did a good job because it's still here. Conrail abandoned it. I could just see a Conrail GP38 coming down the line right now. You could kind of just sit here and picture what it would have been like 50 years ago when 260 might have ran the line. The line went all the way up to, I think, the Canadian border. Adirondack Junction, I think the name was. Yeah, so I'm not wasting your time. I'm going to hike back to the car. But if you know the timetables, if you look up, Utica's that way, from my perspective, with the river behind me. Old Forge is that way. So if you know the departure times, I couldn't tell you, but if you know the train was going to depart Old Forge at 10 o'clock, and you want to see that train outside of Old Forge in the rural area, this is your view. I don't know how long it's going to take for it to get here, but you know, I'd hope you'd know to be here before the train gets here. But if it departs Old Forge at 10, be here about 10 o'clock, because Old Forge is not that far away, I don't think. That's a problem. I don't know how many miles, but if you see the train pulling out of the station, you got probably 15-minute hike to get to the tracks. This would be your shot at this location. Or if it's coming from Utica. Good luck. Because I have no idea if it takes an hour or 2 or 3 to get here, but anyway, enough train talk. But Old Forge also runs their own little trains too, outside, based at Old Forge. But the big one coming from Adirondack, or Utica, to Old Forge, that's a pretty decent train, from what I see. Shout out, Railroading Rambler. He's got a lot of this area on his channel, if you want to check him out. But yeah, as I was saying, way back when I was up here hiking the Berea, Boonville area, I'll look up the list. Okay, there's supposed to be a train leaving Utica at 9, and it never ran. And at the Thousand Island Train Show, there was a guy there from the Adirondack Scenic, and they're like, "Oh yeah, if we don't have a decent enough passenger demand to run the train, they won't run it." So that's probably what happened. I waited trackside for 2 or 3 hours, and then nothing showed up. So it's you want to make sure there is a train that day. It will be listed as one running, but it won't actually run if the demand for passengers is not there. There's your tip. I learned that 5 times the hard way. I just happened to run into the representative, the conductor, at the Thousand Island Train Fair one day. Train show, model train show. So, that's me sharing my information with you from my experience with that. Alright, now it's an uphill climb to the car. It's only a half mile, and I'll see what else is out in the area to go exploring. Yeah, I mentioned I stayed at Inlet State Park. Decent little campground. Unfortunately, by the time I got everything set up, it was too dark. And then this morning, just second the sun crested the hill, I was tearing down and out of there. It cost me $22. It's like $20 a night. No amenities, no electric hookups for the sites. It's all rugged, of course. Here in the middle of the Adirondacks, no cell service. So I stayed at site 34. It was a decent, nice little site. Nice and quiet. Oh, and be prepared to sign black bear waivers, because there are so many black bears in the area. You need to sign a waiver that says you will obey the rules. They have bear boxes. First campsite I stayed at, they had actual bear boxes to throw all your stuff in so the bears don't get into it. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it was $22. $20 for the fee, $2 for tax. Well, Uncle Sam needs his tax, but if you're coming from out of state, there's a $5 surcharge on top of it. So, but there's a lot to do. There's swimming there. It looked like I got the brochure, I think, still in my car. I'll go show you while we're talking about it. I still have the thing in my car, actually. Decent little campground, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna try to keep the viewers entertained with what's possible out here, because I don't know, and I live in the state 2 hours that way. So I'm learning, you're learning. We all get to learn today, folks. As screwed up as that may be, you'll learn something today. Even if I'm confused, you'll still learn. This just now became an educational channel. Oh, it's an uphill hike from the river, by the way, for those that are interested. Going to the river is not bad, but it's been a steady uphill climb on the way back to the parking lot. So stay on the gravel path. I don't know what that offshoot was to the right, but yeah. I was a little disappointed about the no registry here. I wonder what's up with that. I would almost think it was new. That might have been a new station, actually. They just haven't gotten around to putting it up yet. Let's go look at it again. State's been investing a lot in these outdoor recreation stuff, so this could have been new. Yeah, that's why. Yeah. So we get to see it first. That is brand new. That's why there's nothing in it. They just built this. Yep. How did I not see that? They just built this year. So they didn't have, normally you'll have, you know, emergency contact information and, you know, this bear warning, and I'll show you another trailhead. And that's why there's no registry. See, I didn't think it was new because this is all broke. Or maybe they did that to make it seal better. Yeah, see, they got brand new pens and everything in there, but there's no registry. And this is recently, yeah, that's so it can close easier. Or, I don't know, apparently I don't know how to close things now. Yeah, because there's the pieces of wood where when they constructed everything. So this is brand new, that's why it's not. Well, I take my previous comments at the beginning of the video back. Now if the sun's up a little bit better, I can see this is a new construct. So someday there'll be something in there. Just not today because I just finished building it. I apologize to whoever owns this property. DEC, Adirondack, something another. Alright, so off to the next adventure. Again, I want to say it's not even a half mile, it's a quarter-mile hike. Yeah, it's a quarter-mile hike, but coming back, so it's going to feel like a half mile. Going uphill. Alright, let's see what other adventures I can find. And hope this was informative. So, yeah, that'll do it for the... Where were we again? Nelson's Lake? I don't know, my phone's swearing at me right now. So, hope you enjoyed the video, wherever we are. I think it's Nelson's Lake. Because there's a Nick's Lake around here too, but that's... that, even though it's my name, is a long trail. So, I don't know when I'll get to that, and it's not going to be today. Because it's like a 8-mile trail, like I said before. So, once I get my bike legs ready, that might be a future thing. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Hopefully this was informative to you, as it was to me. So, I got one thing to show you as B-roll, is that Limekiln Lake campground brochure. Yeah, Limekiln Lake. Check-in is until 9 p.m. There's somebody in the office until 9 p.m. So if you walk in. Amenities. Oh, here you go. I'll read it because it's got a bend in the paper. Amenities. 271 tent and trailer sites. Picnic area. A nature trail. I didn't see that the first time. Of course, I really didn't look. Flush toilets and hot showers. Trailer dump station. Recycling center. Swimming area with a sand beach, boat launch and rentals. There's site 34. It's kind of on the water's edge. I wrote good so I can know to visit again. So that's why I stayed. And right here is Limekiln Lake. Boat launch. You know, it's got everything there. Boat launch is right there. Right when you come into the park after you paid your fees. And you gotta, oh, it's on the other side. You got another camping area up above everything else. And then you come down into here, and then this trail up here, that's a trail up there, I guess. And of course, the beach, the picnic areas, and everything else is on this other side of the lake. decent little campground. It's a state DEC run campground. Like I said, the thing that helps is check-in is at 9 p.m. and they'll accept walk-ins. You don't get a lot of that around my area, my way, because everything, oh, gotta be in there by 5, and it's so early, it's no point. But unless you have a reservation, of course, and you just go to the door and pick up your reservation ticket, and then you're good to go. But you can actually pay somebody until 9 o'clock. You got somebody there that could go, hey, I'm driving through, you got any sites open? And then they'll give you the information, and then there you go. Alright, that's enough rambling. I got some other things to do today. Got more trails to hike. DEC. I guess they say canoeing is now a trailhead. So I didn't see any other trails except the one to the river.